How's it going on? Welcome back over to the channel, Initial Speaks. I'm your host, Initial D. Hopefully everybody's having an amazing Thursday. It is November the 7th. Here we are, first week of November down. Like, wow, here we go. 2024 has come and it's almost out of here. It's almost gone. Like, where does the time go? I don't know. But what I do know is that I, for one, am trying to make the best of every single day that I have on this earth. Every time I wake up in the morning, God opens my eyes and allows oxygen to come into my lungs to get me up out of bed. It's a new opportunity to get out here and to make a positive impact and to be somebody's inspiration to be better. You feel me? That's what I strive to do with my life. I can't speak for nobody else, but that is what I try to do for me. That's what helps me sleep at night. So now today we're doing something a little different. We're going to take the extended role as far as creating some content. This is the first episode of Initial's Key Points. I used to do these a while back over on Twitch, and it was something that a lot of people enjoy. So I just made the conscious decision that I would bring it over here to YouTube. And if you've been following me on Twitch, then you know that Initial's Key Points is basically where we just talk about a particular topic and we just break it down, and where the chips may fall, they will fall. So in this episode, I want to talk about why black people just don't seem to be getting ahead as far as population goes here in the United States of America. Now, doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that there are more white people in America than it is black people. Like, probably a huge gap, a huge difference as far as population goes. But, I've been doing some research, I've been doing some digging, and I just found some very disturbing data that I want to share with all of you out there. Because if, we can sit up here and talk about this all day, but if we don't look at and see what the data is, and we don't have these hard discussions within our communities, then we're never going to see the percentage of black people grow. We're just not going to see it. So I want to show everybody here something. I'm going to change my screen here. All right, so we're going to kick this off with talking about some of the leading causes to the death of black Americans. These statistics come from 2020 and 2021. So according to Statista.com, it's a tongue twister, the leading cause in black people in the United States of America is the disease of the heart, or heart disease, and followed by cancer, COVID-19, accidents, stroke, diabetes, assault, homicide, respiratory disease, kidney disease, and Alzheimer's. So according to this data, over 20% of black people die in America due to heart disease. Okay. Now, I'm sure that we've all heard that black people are just prone to a whole lot of different health issues, a whole lot of sicknesses, like a lot of the things that are here: high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and the list just goes on and on and on. I just want to say something and just kind of dispel this myth. that if you're black, that you're just going to have all of these things and you're just damned and then you're going to inherit it. There's nothing you can do. That's not true, folks. The reason that a lot of people who are black who end up with type 2 diabetes, not necessarily 1, but type 2 diabetes, which the precursor of that is obesity. A lot of them get that because of really poor lifestyle habits, bad eating habits, frying food, drinking Kool-Aid. Y'all have been young before with a pitcher, big old pitcher of Kool-Aid, and you dump like half a pound of it in the pitcher and then water and then the Kool-Aid like this and drinking that all the time and soda and like so. And when you put all of that stuff into your body, folks, it just has a negative effect. And unfortunately, diabetes is one of those problems. So, but I'm not going to talk about any of these except for heart disease. I just want to talk about that. Okay. So I'm going to blow back up here. Now, if you didn't know, I am a fitness professional. I've been in the fitness industry for almost 15 years this coming July. I've been working out, bodybuilding for 23 years. So this is a very, very passionate topic for me. I will be 39 years old this month on the 26th, and I don't have any health problems, like nothing. I don't take any prescription medication. My heart is in good shape. My brain is in good shape. Other than a couple of aches and pains here and there from lifting, I'm in pretty good shape. So when I see these staggering numbers here, nearly a quarter of black people dying from heart disease, it's very, very alarming. Very alarming. And I wanted to share something with you all out there because, I don't do this often and I'm not endorsing this at all, but, I'm really big on supplements, all right? So here, this is a supplement I started taking recently called Cardio 911, okay? So Cardio 911 consists of L-arginine, 5,000 milligrams, citrulline, 1,000 milligrams, and CoQ10, 100 milligrams. So if you don't know what any of those supplements are, just do a really, really quick Google search, all right? And you will learn of the amazing health benefits that these three components, especially combined, have on the heart. Now, this stuff right here was told to me by the owner of a herb shop that it's designed for individuals who have had a heart attack and they're trying to recover, or they have a stent in their heart and they're trying to recover, and they need the nutrients and all of the essentials to make their heart strong again. But she also told me that you can take this as a precaution to make sure that you don't have any problems and you don't have any issues. So I take this every single day. I usually do it right before I exercise because, again, I'm not going to leave this earth because I neglected my body. And I'm not going to be a victim to heart disease. And I just really want, black people to start taking their health seriously. It's very, very unfortunate that anytime we have a conversation about food or nutrition, it just kind of gets swept under the rug and nobody really wants to discuss it. But yet, here, the data is stating that over 20% of black people die. It is the leading cause of death in America when it comes to black people. That's a very alarming thing, and it's never talked about. It's never discussed, and my mind's blown because of it. But the second, like I said, is cancer here. But I'm going to show y'all one more thing. I have a family member on my wife's side who was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So I wanted to also share another product with you all out here called Colon Cleanser. This is psyllium whole husk. This is very, very good stuff. It's fiber. So you would mix it up with water or juice or something of the sort. Drink it a couple of times a day. It helps with your heart health. It helps with digestion. It also helps with weight management as well. Uh, Colon cancer doesn't have to be something that you get. You can actually avoid it. I get it. It's one of those conversations that people just don't want to have. Going number two, having bowel movements. I know, I get it. Yeah, but at the same time, if you're somebody out here who is struggling with going to the bathroom now, and that's something that continues to occur over time, you could potentially be dealing with something like colon cancer when you get up into your older years. But taking products like this can help defeat all of those things and get you on a pathway of being healthy. And this isn't for black people. This is for everybody, okay? But I know in this specific episode of Initial's Key Points, I'm talking about black people, okay? Because there's some stuff here we're going to talk about today. Is Some of you may be mad at me, some of you may be pissed off at me, but I I cannot unsee a lot of what I'm seeing right now because we need to have this discussion. So, we are going to touch on a very sensitive subject, that being the unaliving of children. I got to be careful with what I say here on YouTube, but the unaliving of children. I did some research, but before I get there, let's do this here. Let's switch gears. Let's switch gears. All right, so let's talk about the percentage here of Black Americans. In 1973, there were approximately 11% Black people in America, according to the 1970s census report. So that's 1973, 11% of Americans were Black. All right, so let's just remember that right there. Keep that number in mind. We're going to flash forward to about 51 years later. Sorry, 50 years later in 2000 and let's see, 2023, which was last year. So we went from 11% to 13% of the total population. Now, out of 50 years, there's only been a 2.7 increase in the Black population in this nation. Just 2.7. That's a really, really long time to have a bunch of babies. That's a really long time to procreate and to expand in families. And when I saw that, I just like, you know what? Let me do a little bit of digging here. So we're gonna go over to this next tab now. Here, as you can see, more than 16 million babies have died since 1973 of abortion. And if you're wondering what babies, Black babies, 16 million Black babies have died since 1973 via abortion. And this article here was written in 2022. So May 17th of 2022. And that's astounding to me. That is absolutely astounding to me. I want you to look at that number. I want you to look really long and hard at that number. 16 million Black babies have died of abortion since 1973. Now let's click over. Here we have, it says recent statistics show Women of color are more likely to have abortions than white women. Non-Hispanic black women have the highest abortion rates, accounting for over 38% of all abortions in the United States of America. Over 38%. You know, there's a lot of people that like to say, what if somebody is the R word? Like, what if that happens to a woman? Doesn't she have a right to terminate? Or what if incest happens in the family? Doesn't she have a right to terminate? You mean to tell me that over 38% of the abortions that is being accounted for in this nation by black women are because they were R word or incest? Or is it because there are some really, really bad decisions being made? There's some accountability not being taken. There are some out of wedlock actions taking place, and nobody really wants to deal with the consequences. 38%. I can't help but think that if that number was lower, would we be higher than 13% of the population here in America? I would I would like to think so. And if you're somebody out there and you know how to do math, I believe that that would absolutely be the case. It would not just be 13%, but it would be a lot higher than that, honestly. But 38% of abortions from black women. I hear stories of people saying, a lot of these women they don't have a lot, they don't have any money, they're poor, they can barely take care of themselves. This is the best way for them to get out of that situation. No, the best way to get out of that situation is by not having sex in the first place. When will people learn that when you play the game, there are rules to that game? And you don't get to change those rules just because it goes a certain way in the game. However, 38% of black women don't have a problem with unaliving their responsibility. There is nobody on the internet that can convince me that all of this, like that, here, look at it. Don't look at me. Come look at this. There's no way you can convince me that this huge number right here is from the hard R word happening or incest. Absolutely not. Not even from a medical emergency. Those occurrences, not saying they don't happen, but they are not as frequent as you would are led to think. Honestly, they're really not as frequent as you're led to believe. This number is from just irresponsible. Okay? It's just completely irresponsible. I'm going to go ahead and read this too, just for the heck of it. It says, white women come in second place, accounting for over 33%. Okay. So, white people make up somewhere between 60 to 70% of the population in America, right? But yet, only 33% of them get abortions. while we are at 13% and 38% of black people get abortions. If you can't see the wrong in that, I don't. Some of you probably have never even seen this data before. Some of you probably never even known this to even be true. Do you know how horrible that is, folks? We are literally in a deficit when it comes to growth. Like, we're nowhere near growing as a race in this country because more children are unalived than actually being born. That's exactly what the data tells us. Now, if that doesn't make you sit and scratch your head and be like, something's wrong here. Something's wrong. And people wonder, like, why are there so many people who are pro-life? Well, it's because of stuff like this. This is exactly why. 38%. I can't get over that number. A 38% abortion rate, 13% population in America, black people. Here, let's see, Hispanic women accounting for 21%. Non-Hispanic women, Asians, Native Americans account for only 7% of abortions. You always wonder, like, or maybe it's just me, that Asian people, you don't see, you hardly ever see them like in the news for getting in trouble with anything. You hardly ever see them like doing anything out of the ordinary because they're all about their business. All about their business. 7.2% of abortions come from Asians and Native Americans. Wow. Wow. All right, so let's continue here. We're gonna go over to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Now, okay. Now, some of you probably are already upset or you're triggered by a lot of what you're seeing, but I'm not lying. Like, this is all on Google. You can find this yourself. You can look this up yourself, and you can judge for yourself as far as how you want to perceive perspective in life. The only reason I'm sharing this is because I hope to God that somebody can watch this and shift gears, change gears, because change can begin with one person. But if we don't never have these type of conversations, nothing's ever going to change. All right, so inmate race. This was last updated on this past Saturday, November the 24th. Now, this is the percentage of people who are locked up. Here we have Asians, over 2,348 inmates. That makes up 1.5% of the prison population. That's very, very, very small. That means that the mass majority of Asians are out here working hard, and then those are like the black sheep, I guess. All right. Next, we have black people. There's over 60,873 inmates locked up right now, coming in at 38.9%. Native Americans, 4,471, coming in at 2.9%, and then white people at 88,960, coming in at 56%. Now, I know some of you might be like, see there, there's more white people locked up than black people. Duh, there's more white people in America than black people, folks. Of course, that number is going to be large. But what's astounding is the amount of black people that are locked up. Again, 38.9% of the 13% population in the country. What is it with this 30 number? Like 38% here, 38% here. Wow. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. 38% of women having abortions, black women. 38% of inmates. I'm assuming this is black and I don't know, but I didn't check. I checked the race. I should have checked the gender. I can look at the gender too. We'll see. But 38%, folks. That is insane. Insane. If you got so many black people locked up, there's broken homes and not a lot of procreating going on, unfortunately. So, but just for the heck of it, let me go to gender. Ooh, yeah. All right. So by gender, there's an overwhelming amount of men locked up. Well over 100,000 men locked up here. 93% of inmates are males and 6.7 are females. So makes a lot of sense there. A whole lot of sense. Here, let's look at the age. Oh, wow. So the mass majority of the average inmate is between 31 to 41. Actually, yeah, as low as 18 and as old as 65 plus. So, but the mass majority of them are in their mid 30s. Wow, just starting out life, man. This is terrible. That is terrible. So, but again, black people, that's a really, really, really big part of this pie chart to be such a small portion of America. 13.7%. That's how much we make up in this nation. And again, 1973, 11.1%. Look, we got to talk, man. We got to talk. I wanted to go over all of that data right there just to build up, everything that I want to say right now. There's so much like division within the black community. We just had an election a couple of days ago, and there's things on social media where black women are saying it's black men's fault, it's Latino men's fault that Trump has gotten into office. That's not what the data shows. The data shows that there were a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people who showed up to vote. You had Christians voting, you had Muslims voting, you had the Amish voting, Latinos, Asians, everybody showed up and voted. Like, how in the world is it possible for black men to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Like, I will never understand this hatred and this war between black men and black women. And it just seems to be something that it's almost like it's like a spell or something like that that's just going on in the community. And I just hate it. Like I'm the type of person that wants people to come together. I want people to get along with each other, to work together, because ultimately we have to live together. We got to stay together. We got to see each other all the time. What is the point in us really going head to head and biting each other's ankles? It doesn't make any sense to me. But what we do need to do as a people is come together and ask ourselves these questions, like, why are these numbers so high? Why is the abortion number so high for a percentage of people that only makes up 13% of the nation? Why is the incarceration number so high for a people that only makes up 13.7% of the nation? Why are the numbers so high? There's some people out here, some of y'all, I'm just gonna say it, y'all are like super pro-black. I mean, extremely pro-black, and you say things like it's the white folks, it's the rich, it's the privileged, it's them. They're the ones that's locking us up. They're the ones that's responsible for this. I'm like, oh, wait a second, hold it just a minute. Now, when it comes to the voice of reason, I'm gonna be that guy, and when it comes to holding people accountable, that's gonna be me. Number one, what the heck does a white person or privileged or rich white person have to do with what you do in the bedroom? I'll wait. So you mean to tell me, some rich white man just, somehow forced you to, lay with another man, and then y'all procreate and you decide that you don't want this child and you want to go and unalive your child? I don't think that choice has anything to do with white people. We got to stop blaming white people for everything and start taking responsibility for our actions. We need to start owning up to when we screw up and stop pointing the finger there, and there, and trying to get out of the situation by unaliving your responsibilities. Some of you will also say white people they're responsible for locking black people up. I don't understand how that's even possible. How can white people be responsible for locking up 38% of black men? I'm assuming men, because as you saw, the men were very, very, very high in percentage versus women. So most of those inmates are black men that are behind bars. Not some black women, but the majority of black men. What white folks got to do with that? What do they really have to do with that? So the poor choices that put them in jail was because of some other race? Who told Pookie to pull out that thing and just start unloading in the club, or doing the drive by in the streets? Who told Ray Ray to stand on the corner and slang and bang? Who told any of these people to open up a trap house and to move keys to the here and there? Who told them to do that? But once again, I know some of you out there will say things like, well, they plant the drugs and they plant them on them. They plant them in the neighborhood. It's all a setup and stuff. Like, okay, look, I do believe that at some point in history that something happened to where, black neighborhoods were sabotaged. I am absolutely pro-black. I'm pro-people. I love people, but I love my people too. But I love my people so much that I'm going to tell the truth and hold you accountable at the same token. I believe, what happened to Black Wall Street was a tragedy. Stuff like that we can always reference when it comes to other races or white people coming in to sabotage something that we're trying to build. And yes, I do believe that there are some corruption that goes on behind closed doors, and sometimes things get planted in certain neighborhoods. However, no one can make you do anything. No one can make you do anything. Ladies, you don't have to open your legs to these thugs out here. You don't have to do that. You don't have to lay with these men. You don't have to do that. Guys, you don't have to go out here strapped up. You don't have to go out here robbing people. You don't have to go out here flipping and stacking and moving this and moving. You don't have to do these things. You don't have to go out here handling your problems by shooting people. You don't have to do these things. You make the choice to do these things. And because we make these horrible, poor choices, we have these disgusting numbers. And these numbers are the reason why we are still at 13.7% population. Again, only up by 2% since 1973. 50 years, folks. And the black population has only grown by 2%. 16 million black babies unalived since the 1970s. 13% of the population black. 38% aborted. Another 38% incarcerated. If this doesn't spark a point of interest or a point of conversation, I don't see where healing can take place. I don't see where improvement can happen if we're not going to have these hard conversations and start doing something constructive to put us in a better position. I've heard people say things like, I feel sorry for black people, like non-black people. I've heard them say it. They say, I feel sorry for black people. I feel sorry that it doesn't seem like they can never get ahead. It seems like they're their own worst enemy. It seems like this and it seems like that. And they're not lying. They're not. The victim mentality is something else that I can't stand. There are many of us that like to say, hey, this is all I know. I grew up in the hood, so I got to do what I got to do to get up out of the hood. I got to make something shake. I got to make something happen. I got to. You know, you don't have to do anything. If it's illegal, you don't have to do it. There's always an option. There's always something different that we can do. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Are some things, does it feel like we as black people don't get the same opportunities as some others of other races? It's yeah, it is possible. But again, we are supposed to make the best of our situation the best way we can to get out of that situation. There's so many successful black men and women who grew up in the ghetto, who grew up in the hood, who grew up in the projects, but they made some of themselves. They didn't take those routes. They were responsible. They didn't go out here having babies all over the place. They didn't go out here doing illegal things. They made a way to come up, and they decided they didn't want to be a part of these statistics here. They didn't want to be a part of what people consider to be the typical black man or the typical black woman. They didn't want to do that. They made a choice. And all of us have the same option to make a choice when it comes to where we fall in this spectrum of black people. I want nothing more than to see us thrive. I want to see us get better. I want to see us in a good position. I want to see us owning lots and lots of businesses. I want to see us having big families, husbands and wives together, raising their sons and their daughters to be strong men and women, to continue to have sons and daughters, reinforcing the family institution in the black household. That's what I want to see. And I'm living proof of it. You know, my kids, I have 3 children, 3 beautiful kids. I'm married. Been with my wife for 20 years. My son's about to graduate high school this year. And it just brings a tear to my eyes to know that we've come that far and we got so much further to go. But the reason I'm in this position is because I made a choice. I didn't go out here bed hopping, sleeping with people and stuff like that. I didn't go out here trying to make a quick buck. I tried to do the best that I possibly could throughout my life and decided to make a choice to be honest with how I made my living. We all got a choice. Here's the question. I'm going to leave you with this. Are we really our own worst enemy? Is there any recovering from the damage that's already been done from within? Is there any way to reduce those abortion numbers? Is there any way to reduce those incarceration numbers? There is a way. got a choice. Take it or leave it. That's going to do it for this episode, folks, of Initial's Key Points. I thank you so much for rocking with me. I hope that you enjoyed this style of podcasting or making videos and stuff like that. I'm trying to pump out more content as the days go on, and just try to keep things interesting over this way. Folks, take care of yourselves, please. Take good care of yourselves. You get one body and you get one life. So make the best choices that you can to live prosperous, to dwell in peace, and to be the man or the woman that God has designed you to be at the end of the day. If you're new, do me a favor, like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Peace.